This video is just to show you guys what I'm working on. So a lot of people that struggling with the rollup. So obviously if you have a daily notes first system, which I am advocating for, you want it to roll up to the weekly, the monthly, the yearly. If you're looking at implementing a personal knowledge management system in your personal life, you would want all the things that you're doing in a day to be consumable in a weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly basis. There's not a lot of videos out there that speaks about how to roll up very specific things in an easy way to the weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. So for the last week, I've been in the trenches of data view and always keeping in mind that I want to keep things simple. So I've built something and I want to share what I've been working on. And this is a version that is broken down to the basics of a journaling roll-up that I would use. I feel if you have too many bells and whistles, the system becomes polluted and you don't use it. So I want something that I use. I also want something that is friendly, that is giving me the history through rose-tinted glasses. So I want to capture my wins and I want to celebrate my wins. If I look back over the year, I want to celebrate my wins. I don't want to see everything that I could have done better and see where my failures were. I would rather want to celebrate my wins, and then when it comes time to reflection, I can draw that reflection notes in somewhere else. So that being said, let me quickly run you through this vault. We start with a daily note. So let's say we are on the 21st. You open up the daily notes. As soon as you open up your vault, this will appear. You have your properties. I have dates, aliases, tags. And I try to keep the metadata to the minimum. I don't want a lot of things here. So I opted for sleep hours, sleep rating, healthy food, log day rating. That's the only metadata I want to track. There's other applications that can track information better. If you want to do hourly tracking, Obsidian is not a tool for hour tracking, unfortunately. Then we have pictures, and this is where you would insert 3 pictures of your day. And again, I found this tremendously valuable. I don't see a lot of people using it, but pictures stimulates your memory. If you see a specific picture from 10 years ago, you remember the memories and the feelings associated with that picture, with that day, in that point of time. And it provides for some useful insights. And we have morning pages where I have on this day last year. So this is a metadata query that's going to retrieve all the notes from all the years on this specific day. So you can see it's this day and then the previous day, previous year's day. And then you can quickly go into and just hover over it and look at the pictures of that day. And you can see what you've done, like how was your consumables. And you can see there's still an outdated note, which I need to change. We have notes created this day, and then tasks. Tasks only pulls in tasks for this specific month. I have yet to find a data view query that has a month, like 30 days back, 30 days to the future, and then captures all of those tasks. So for now, it's only the month. And then this is where I have my morning word vomit. So this is anything that's on my mind. Log pages. That is where each hour, when I do something, when I go on a little side adventure, I keep track of what I've been doing. So yeah, you can see I went to gym, went to sauna. At 12, I cooked a new recipe. Great. Evening review. I'm trying to keep it as simple as I possibly can. I've tried the daily reviews that you have. Name 5 highlights of your day, 5 things you could do better, and give me 5 things where you felt drained today. And it started to become a chore, and I did not enjoy it. So I'm trying something different, and I've been trying it for last week, and I think I'm onto something. And by me, I don't mean me, I mean, I think it's Brian Jenks on YouTube, also a very popular Obsidian guy. He had this wonderful system of where he captures highlights. And those highlights, I'll show you in a bit, gets carried through to your weekly. And he has all the highlights If the day is something spectacular, like something big happened, you got promoted at your job, what he does is he uses aliases. So if there's no alias, it means that that was pretty much an average day. It's not remarkable. But if it has an alias, it means that something big happened that day. So you'll still have your log day review, and you can write whatever you want here. And you can see like, oh, I want to log something that I'm grateful for. Then you can still do it. But it gives you a little bit more free roam. Like if you don't want to write anything because nothing really happened, and you don't want to go through all of those prompts of highlights, things I could do better, things to improve on, which me personally, I've tried for the last 6 months. It does not stick. It feels like a burden to do it. But if things really are upsetting me, I'll write about it. If things are making me happy, I'll also want to write about it. But this way, it's just to still have this option and carry it through to the weekly. And yeah, let's just show you a couple of other days. So other days are almost exactly the same. Yesterday, tomorrow, pictures. On this day, notes created. So here you can see the notes created on this specific day. Tasks, brain dump here. I went for do. So the daily note template looks like this. And if we go to the code, a lot of code. So on this day code, notes created on this day code, tasks code, and that's about it. So if we go to the weekly looks like this. We have pics and daily. And the pictures, if you open it up, it automatically pulls in all the pictures of that week. And again, this is such a lovely way to just check what happened that week. And the database query code, I think it's templated. So this gets populated automatically by templated code that looks something like this. And that returns a beautiful summary, visual summary of your week. So now we have, I don't want to do that. We have highlights, and this pulls in all the highlights of your week. So when when at the end of the week, you want to review what you've done, you come to the highlights and you're only going to see things that went well, things that you were excited for, things that just elevated you a little bit. And I think this is wonderful. This is, again, something that Brian Jenks, I hope I'm not getting his name wrong, he shares in one of his roll-up videos. And I'm just going to steal it. I'm going to give him credit because I think he's onto something. You want your journal to be something positive. And he has this wonderful idea. I just never thought about it. So highlights, whenever you come across a highlight in a day, let's say you go throughout your day and you go for a walk. And on your walk, a Labrador, somebody else's Labrador from 50 meters away sees you and starts running up to you and just wants to give you love. That's going to be a highlight of my day. It's this being that wanted my affection, which is just, it's a dog. And that would be a highlight because I got good chemicals released in my body, And we have highlights, then daily reviews. You can do this, and I think I'm going to continue with this, but I'll allow myself just to do anything that I want. So log day review, I can write whatever, no prompts, just one bullet if I want, 2 bullets, doesn't really matter. Then I have my log weekly review that I can fill in here. And this is also something that I got from The Wheel of Life. I got it from, first, a couple of years ago, I watched Ali Abdal's video on how to make 2024 the best year of your life. And he spoke about the Wheel of Life. And then I came across another video by Mike Schmitz, don't know how to pronounce that, which he does exactly this Wheel of Life graph in Obsidian. And I'm also just going to steal it because I think it's wonderful. Like, it allows you to be more directed with the feedback at the end of your week. And what this looks like, it looks something like this. So this is not pulling in any data from your week. This is purely subjective at the end of your week for these categories. And you can choose these categories, how you felt. So let's say for soul, which could be anything, soul, Gave a little short summary: meditation, prayer, yoga, reading, spiritual, anything that grounds you, anything that makes you feel more at peace. So let's say I had a fantastic week of peace. I feel peaceful at the end. I did a lot of yoga, a lot of grounding, blah, blah, blah. Then I'll put this to 9. You can see it goes and jumps to 9. Career, work. It was a terrible week. Then it would be 1. You can see it shrinks down. Love, relationships. Let's say it's 8. We have health and fitness. 10. Personal growth within my company. So 10. Let's say 9. I can always do a little bit better. Fun, recreation. Went to a festival. The rest of the week was just working hard. Social. Health and fitness, personal growth. Oh, no, I messed it up. Soul, career, love, health, personal growth, fun, recreation. Fun recreation would be playing the guitar, stuff like that. So these categories you can choose yourself, but let's just say fun recreation, playing sports, engaging in hobbies that you enjoy. Let's say an 8. Social, went to the festival, 10. Finance, 5. And you get to your week and you can quickly check. It's like there's a lot of things that was under 5. What was it? Like career, work, what happened that week? With finance, like why did I feel it was only a 5? And this is where you would give a short description. It's like, so I did a lot of yoga sessions. I also attempted to do 10 minutes of meditation every single day. I feel like Buddha. So this gives an explanation for the soul. Like, why was the soul, like, let's say a 10? Let's say career. My current project is boring. Love, relationships. Met new people. Went out with close friends. Did ice baths with a social club. Chill and soup. And this type of review, it intrigues me a little bit more. It satisfies my visual hunger too, because you get to see this and you don't necessarily need to go read everything to understand. You can just look at a glance. What happened that week? How did you feel at the end of this week? And then you can go read more. And this doesn't go anywhere. You can make it go somewhere. Meaning, if people want, they can say, log soul weekly review. And then you can just put these guys here underneath that task. And a cool little thing I've been working on is I don't like my log readies because this is basically a tag structure this is using. So I created a custom one which looks like this, and I think this looks better. But yeah, now you can pull this in if you want. So then you can go look at all your weekly Wheel of Life reviews. But for me, maybe I'll do it, maybe not. We'll see. I'm still deciding. And then statistics, trying to keep this as simple as possible. Like I said, with the daily, we have just these metadata fields, and this is all that I want. I would urge you not to use more than this. You can maybe do like a book tracker or reading every day, but again, there's better tracking tools out there than Obsidian. But for me, I have enough bandwidth to fill in this every single day. I think the most important one is log day rating. And also, I think these 3, the log sleep rating, log healthy food eating rating, and log day rating, these 3 should be a non-negotiable, because you can check you had a good day, you had healthy food, and you had good sleep. Like those 3 is the ones that I want to see. So we go back and we go to statistics. So let's just fold everything. We have calendar graph, which basically gives us this little achievement score for like our day rating. You can see the 21st, we had a -2, really bad day. We had a -1, and my scoring works from -2 to 2. Don't ask me why, just stuck. And I've tried different rating systems. This is the only one that's been working for me. On Tuesday, 1.5, 1.25, 2, 1. So you can see that from here, we've been having a streak. And then we have sleep rating. If we click here, we can see the consistent days of good sleep. The darker, the better, the lighter, the worse. Sleep hours, healthy food rating. So this is quick statistics. And then the most valuable part is for that week, you have the averages that automatically calculates based off of every day's metadata. And what this looks like, it's quite fun code. I got this from Sergio, I think is his name, also another YouTuber, which spoke about the calendar graphs. A bunch of other people also had similar graphs. I think Mike Schmitz, he also did a tracker graph, and I just changed it a little bit to my needs. And then we can see average day rating was 0.7, not bad, from -2 to 2. Sleep rating was good. Sleep hours, great. Average health food rating, good. So you can see this is all that I need for my week. And if we go to monthly, so Command P, monthly, previous, next month, quarter, year. The pictures, obviously I haven't created these days, but they get automatically pulled in to your monthly note based off of the templated code, which looks like this. And this took a long while to get right, but I finally managed to do it. And it pulls in everything quite neatly. So we have all the pictures, and you can just quickly scroll through, which I think is also wonderful. And I have a little bit of a bug here that I still need to figure out. So for some reason, if I open pictures and I close it, sometimes it just does not show anything below it. So I still need to figure that out. Then the standout days. Oh, earlier I spoke about the aliases. Brian Jenks, I think is his name. He spoke about pulling in aliases for days that were great. So in this month, you can just quickly check, these are the days that I had aliases. The day I sold my first feedback test, the day I found I have quad muscles, good. And now you're interested, like, okay, what happened on that day? Yeah, quad muscles, nice. So you can see that you had a good day. It's just nice. Then highlights, same thing. It pulls in all the highlights for that specific month automatically. Weekly reviews does the same thing for the weekly reviews. Then you can put your monthly review if you want. For the Wheel of Life, you'll do something similar. So at the end of your month, you'll look back, you'll review all of your statistics. So for this month, July, and this is quite cool code because it opens it up on this specific month for you because it knows you are on July. And then you can just quickly check for this month. If you fill in all the days, you can check which days were bad, which day was good. And you just can quickly flip through it. I don't need more functionality than this. All I need is this and then the averages. And then I'm good to go. So this calculates based off the filled in days. So if you didn't fill in any days, it won't divide it by 31 days. It would divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days for the averages. And then you get a more accurate representation that if you miss a day, it doesn't impact your average score. It just skips over it, you know? So you can see our day rating, great. And based off this, you can then start filling in your Wheel of Life again. Fill in your scores for each section, and then you give yourself a rating. And again, you can make it that it rolls up to your quarterly and yearly, but yeah. So the quarterly is a little bit more of the same. Open quarterly note. Previous quarter, next quarter, 2024. All our pictures, again, are pulled in for that quarter. So you can see it starts at 071 and it will end on the 30th. So this code, again, took quite some time to get right. And it looks like this. Quite a mouthful. But yeah, it works. I tested a couple of times. Might be still a couple of small bugs that I'm trying to iron out. but the testing that I've done so far says that this works. So we have all the pictures for that quarter. Standout days, again, for the whole quarter. I think it's amazing. Highlights for the whole quarter. Monthly reviews, which you can just check your monthly reviews. And then exactly the same thing. And then the yearly is exactly the same thing. We have pictures, standouts. So for open yearly note, it's going to start with January with this. And then you can just flip through the months for that year. And the code for that, it specifies initial month. So you're just going to take all the code, or all the dates, but it's just going to start in 1st of January. And then for the averages, we just want from the beginning to the end of this year. And again, it works well. Then this is probably going to be your most important wheel of life, because this is where you are going to assess your entire year. And this is where you should take a day, do a retreat, as Mike Schmitz says in his YouTube videos, specifically related to this wheel of life. And I have the link and the wheel of life note as well, which I'll make available with the vault when it comes out. But the yearly and the monthly and the quarterly, I think those are the wheel of lives that you really need to pay attention to. The weekly, not so much. I just put it in the weekly because I think it's a nice reflection to have. But you're just going to do the same thing. Yeah, that's my roll-up for using Obsidian's daily note functionality and rolling it up to weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. Now, initially I had way more functionality in the templates. So I would have all the socials, log all the podcasts that you listen to, log all the TV, everything you ate, and then you could roll it up to the weekly, monthly. But yeah, like I said, I've tested it for the last 6 months. It doesn't stick. So what I'll do is I'll create extra templates for people that enjoy tracking things a little bit more. But this is this version that I have now. I think this is the version that I'm going to try to preach to people. Like, I want to keep things as simple as possible. And the data queries behind this and the coding that went into pulling all of this into the weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly, that was quite complex. But everything besides that is easy to implement. You can see for the daily, there's not much code, but for the weekly, we have a bunch of code, and we have a bunch of code and a bunch of code and more code and more code. But I'm going to run through this in the setup video, and I think this vault is going to turn into basically 2 vaults. So I'm going to keep this as bare bones as it is for people to understand the daily to yearly rollup, so that they have just this, what I'm showing you now, and they can go play around with the code and adapt it to how they want. And then I'm going to incorporate this into the Evergreen Vault, just to help people understand these concepts. Because again, if you understand a couple of these concepts, you're good to go. Like, your system is ready. Your system, it's not difficult to do, it just takes time. But luckily, there's people out there like me that spends significant amounts of time in order to try to get this right. But I'm curious. I've spoken through the review system and the type of reviews that I do, but I'm not sold on a specific one yet. I think this one is one that I'm quite happy with. I'm going to start implementing for at least the next 3 months, see what sticks, what does not. But I don't think I'm going to deviate far from this. So I'm interested to see people's responses to how they envision their reflection to happen, their daily to weekly to monthly, quarterly, yearly, how they do their reviews and what they find useful and not too burdensome to do. So yeah, I was just talking through what I've done, what I'm working on. A more formal video on how to set this up from start to finish is in works. I'm hoping to have it done by next week. And then I'll also make this vault available for people that don't want to go through all of the tedious code. But yeah, this is just to show you what I've been working on and to get some feedback from what you guys have been using, what you guys would like to see in a rollup for, let's say, journaling or habit tracking, or just tracking in general. Okay, that's it. Till next time.